Ishowspeed, you might not know, is where it all started and what it took for him to get here. Because behind all that energy, there's a kid who had to fight for every single view. And yeah, his family, that's a whole story in itself. Speed's parents? Divorced. Things weren't exactly smooth at home. For nearly years, Speed lived with his mom in a small apartment in Ohio. During that time, she was cautious and sometimes critical. She would frequently walk in and interrupt his streams, either to tell him to quiet down, scold him, or stop entirely. In one early viral moment, she yelled, "Darren, get off that damn game and go to bed." These interruptions became memes in his fan base. Many viewers even said that Speed's mom was the real boss of the stream. According to Speed himself, she gave him an ultimatum. If you don't quit streaming, you have to move out. Where did he end up? Living with his dad in Detroit. Now here's the thing. His dad didn't care about gaming, didn't care about streaming. If you're thinking he had some big supportive team behind him, you will be wrong. Speed was figuring it out on his own. From day one, Speed wasn't shy. Never has been. He was the class clown, the troll, the loud one in the room. But when it came to streaming, you'd think he had it all figured out. But no, he was nervous. He didn't know what to do, didn't know how to act. And get this, his mic muted for 2 whole hours. And somehow, his one loyal viewer still watching. That one viewer kept him going, kept him motivated to hit go live again. And here's what you might not expect. He wasn't doing it for fame at first. He just loved games, loved being himself. That's it. And when quarantine hit in 2020, that's when it all changed. Speed went all in, stream after stream. The energy you see now, that's the same energy he brought when you weren't watching, when no one was. And even though his dad didn't really get it at first, eventually, he backed Speed's streaming dream. And to be a role model for the young generation. By the age of 16, Speed had already bought his mom a house. Think about that. 16. While most people are worried about getting their license, this kid was changing his family's life. He described his mom primarily as his caregiver and main emotional supporter, especially after his parents separated early in his life. So, parents, before you tell your kid to get off the game, remember, Speed started right there too. Support their passion. Because in this era, authenticity isn't just a trait, it's a business. The world has changed, and so have the ways to succeed. Jack Dahorty. All right. We've talked about Speed, who came up from tough situations, but now let's look at a guy who honestly had everything handed to him and somehow still managed to go off the rails. He came from a solid, supportive family. His dad owned a roofing company and worked hard, and that's what Jack claims motivated him. He wasn't struggling, his parents weren't split up, and they actually backed everything he was doing. And get this, Jack bought a house at 12, not for his parents, but for himself. Of course, he had to put it under his dad's name, but still, most kids at 12 are saving up for video games. Jack started out pulling pranks, filming people without permission, crossing the line, even with his family, doing whatever it took for views. And once he started making real money, he used it to level up the same bad habits. Trespassing, warrants, getting in trouble with the law, all just for content. Honestly, I'm not a fan. The guy would do literally anything for views and cash. On camera, you'd see him doing fun challenges with his parents. Stuff like ignoring his mom for 24 hours, making his dad say yes to everything. It looked like a good time. No money struggles, no drama at home. But behind it, Jack treated his whole family like dollar signs, like he could buy whatever he wanted, including respect. When his views started dropping, Jack switched things up, moved into managing girls on OnlyFans. And get this, he was actually promoting it to his younger fans through YouTube Shorts. Like, seriously? This is the same kid whose parents worked hard, supported him, and gave him a solid head start. Now he's running an OnlyFans agency and pushing that content to kids. I don't know about you, but I can't imagine any parent looking at that and thinking, yep, proud of my son. Definitely not the plan they had when they backed him from day one. Cenat. All right, after Jack Dahorty, let's switch gears. Now here's a guy who actually started from the bottom, didn't waste his shot, and gave back to his family. Let's talk about Cenat. Life wasn't easy for him at all. His mom, she had 4 kids, twin sisters, Kai, and an older brother. And at one point, they were living in a shelter in Georgia. They didn't have money for McDonald's. They couldn't afford certain clothes. It was tough. But his mom? Straight up superhero mode. Kai said it himself. Sometimes he didn't even know how she pulled it off. Kai shared a room with his brother for 18 years. His mom didn't let him and his friends record in the house, so he literally had to film in his car. And while some kids had sports or school sponsors, nah, Kai's parents weren't pushing him toward athletics. He found his lane with gaming and being in front of the camera. He was the class clown, always had energy. But when it came to girls, you wouldn't believe it. Dude was stuck in the friend zone, scared to make a move. Now, about his dad. Kai was tough on him for a long time. After all, he left Kai and his mom struggling for years. It wasn't easy for Kai to forgive or let go of that hurt. Plus, his dad had kids with other women, so things were far from perfect. Kai's stepdad was supportive and all, but it never quite filled that real dad spot. Kai always felt that gap, especially when he saw other kids bragging about their dads. But now, Kai actually spends more time with his dad, and their relationship is solid. What's wild is Kai's even helping out his dad so his stepbrothers don't have to struggle like he did. He admits he was too young to understand what his dad was going through back then, but now he gets it, and that's why they've patched things up. And once he made it, Kai did what you hope people do. He gave back. He bought his mom a house, bought her a car. From filming in a car to having millions of fans, it all started with a ding-dong ditch video going viral. After Kai's story, now let's talk about Neon. And yeah, this one's different, not as deep, but still, there's stuff you should know. Neon didn't come from some crazy struggle. His parents are Muslim and they weren't exactly on board with his whole streaming thing at first. They didn't get it, didn't see the point. No support in the beginning. He's the guy who faked his own death just for clout and views. No joke, faked his death to get people talking. And sure, he says he's Muslim, but how does he act online? I'll let the real Muslims decide if that really fits. Neon's another one on this list I'm not a fan of. But hey, credit where it's due. He did buy his parents a new house in Dubai. You think that's enough to change my opinion? Not really. At the end of the day, the guy's making moves, even if you and I don't like how he's doing it. So yeah, Neon's story isn't some underdog tale. It's more like, do whatever for views, cash out, and move the family to Dubai. Simple as that. Adin Ross. Alright, after Neon, let's move to Adin Ross. And with Adin, you'll see, it wasn't all smooth sailing at first, no matter how big he is now. Adin started out streaming at his dad's house. And let's be real, the internet there sucked. On top of that, he was getting bullied. Online, at school, everywhere. It got so bad, he stopped making videos for a while. Just gave it a break. His parents, they weren't feeling it either. They weren't supportive, didn't get what he was doing at all. But Adin, he didn't quit. He believed in himself, even when no one else did. And by 2016, he was back, streaming, uploading, doing his thing. And now, yeah, Adin's on top. He bought his parents a house, got them cars. And funny enough, now he wants to start a podcast with his dad, because in the end, his dad was actually the first one to back him and believe in what he was doing. So yeah, Adin's story, classic case of no support at first, but look who's winning now. He bet on himself, and it paid off. Simple as that. And his parents are happy with his success now, and he has given back to them. Mr. Beast. Alright, so you've seen all these other creators. How they blew up, how fame changed their lives. But trust me, you haven't heard a story like this one yet. If you think you know Mr. Beast, you don't. Because his family story, it's way darker than you'd expect. And once you hear it, you'll never look at him the same way again. Mr. Beast's parents? They met in the military. His mom, yeah, she's a literal colonel. 20 years of service. The real deal. And his dad? Let's just say, you wouldn't want to meet him. They split when Jimmy was a kid. And honestly, that might have been the best thing that could have happened. Jimmy doesn't ever want you to know who his dad is. He said it straight up. He'll never reveal him. And once you hear this, you'll see why. Some say Jimmy hates the guy. And honestly, you probably would too. Jimmy's dad wasn't just out of the picture. He was dangerous. The kind of dangerous where one day he tried to kill Jimmy's mom. Yeah, that bad. So bad that 20 years later, his mom wrote a book about surviving it. You can go find it on Amazon right now. That's how real this was. There was even this TikToker who went full detective mode, tracked down a guy who looks exactly like Jimmy. Same face, same vibe. But the man denied having a son. Of course, but there's more. And while all that was happening, Jimmy wasn't telling anyone, not even his mom, but he was grinding. He started YouTube in secret. His first 100 videos, his mom thought he was talking to strangers online, until she found out that he wanted to be a YouTuber and drop out of school. Then she hit him with the classic parent line. Go to college or get out. So what did Jimmy do? He stopped going to class and didn't say a word. Instead, he focused on you, his future viewers, building something that would change his life. And you know what? It worked. Once he started making real money, he didn't just move out. He gave his mom $100,000, said it was the proudest day of his life. And then he bought her a house, a real home, a safe one. The kind of house where no one could ever hurt her again. And as for his dad, his name stays locked away forever. So next time you see Mr. Beast giving away Lamborghinis or building wells, remember this. Behind all that is a kid who came from a family most people wouldn't survive. And somehow, he turned it into something good.